Been struggling to get my receiver calibrated, so I thought I'd make a video and show everybody what I'm doing and see if somebody with a trained eye can help me out. I've downloaded the software and I'm running Windows 10, and I'll get there in just a second, but the first thing I'm going to do is bind the radio transmitter to the receiver. So just a moment. Okay, I'm going to hold down the bind button, bring the power up on my radio, and you see I get a green, a red, and then I get yellow. I release the bind button and now it's flashing. So everything looks normal there. Next is to power up the receiver. I powered up the receiver and you can see I get a steady red and a flashing green. And I understand that indicates that the receiver and the transmitter are now bound. Okay, I brought power back up to my radio and you can see I've got a steady green light, which is a good indication everything is good on the radio and transmitter. I go back to my receiver, I've put power on it, and you can see I've got a steady red, a steady green, and a flashing blue light. The flashing blue light indicates I need to calibrate the receiver. So now we go to the computer. I'll be right back. I went to the DragonLink support link, went to transmitter download, and the files were downloaded successfully to my computer. I then went and extracted. So now I've extracted those files and they are on my desktop right here. It all looks normal. And these are the files that have been extracted. So everything has been placed on the desktop. I opened it up. And now I've got DragonLink config version 1.9 open, and I've also got the quick intro file open too. Okay, I've opened up the DragonLink GUI version 1.9, and you can see it's not connected, and I haven't connected it with the USB, so I'm going to connect it now. Okay, I brought power up on my transmitter. Got a solid green light on the DragonLink. I go to my receiver and I get indications that are normal. I got a solid green, solid red, and a flashing blue. I go to the software and it shows that it's not connected. So the software was running when I connected it and I don't see anything. I go to the device manager and I don't see anything in here that would indicate a DragonLink device in here. And I understand that that may in fact be the case. I was told, I think, to go to Universal Serial Bus Controllers and look for a yellow explanation mark on a file that may not indicate it has anything to do with DragonLink, but as you can see, I'm not getting any yellow explanation mark here. I'm in the quick intro, the micro receiver quick intro PDF, and it tells you, the first time you connect it to Windows, search for drivers, you might not be able to find a matching driver, so go to the device manager, and you can see here that it's telling me you might need to do an update driver software, but the issue I've got here is I don't have any kind of a file in my device manager that would tell me I need, that this is what the file you would update. I've gotten messages that maybe I should go to the driver that I downloaded and go in here to the DragonLink USB driver, right click and install that driver. There it is. I selected the wrong file. So I click on install, and I get this message, and I tell it go ahead and open it. I get a note that says you want to make changes. I tell it yes. And it says the hash for the file is not present in the specific catalog file, etc. You guys can see what the message is. So I close it. I go to the alternate sign driver. I do the same thing. I right click, tell it install. I tell it open. Same message for, and now it tells me I've done it successfully. So I'm going to go back to Device Manager, and there won't be anything in there, but I'll go ahead and try to restart the computer and see if something shows up. So I'll be right back once I've restarted the computer, and you can see there's no change in anything in the Device Manager. So I'm telling the computer to restart, and then I'll bring up all the programs in just a minute. I got the computer restarted, and the first thing I did was open up the DragonLink GUI version 1.9, and then I also opened up the Device Manager. So I'm going to now power up the receiver. The transmitter's on, solid green light. Okay, I've got the receiver powered up, and I'm getting a solid red, solid green, and a flashing blue, which is telling me to calibrate. So I go to the software, and I've been told that maybe it'll hook up or link up, and you don't need to do anything in the Device Manager. But that's not the case. It's still showing not connected. So I go over to the Device Manager, and I'm looking for anything that would tell me I've installed a device that I need to update, and I don't see anything. I go to Universal Serial. I heard that there might be something in there with a yellow exclamation mark, and there's nothing in here that would tell me there's a yellow explanation mark by anything. So I'm still kind of stuck. I still haven't got my receiver calibrated. Those are the processes I went through. Just a moment. I didn't mention this, but I also went through step number 2, which is changing the ID on the transmitter. And that was simple. It appeared to go successfully too. So I went through that process, then went to bind, and then went to calibrate, just like the instructions here indicate. And these are the instructions off the web page under the support link. So this is where I got the instructions for that. But at any rate, that's where I'm at. I'm having problems getting this receiver calibrated, and any input or information someone has, or if you see something I may have done wrong, if you could let me know, I'd be happy to get that information and try to get this thing going and get it up in the air. I plan on flying it in a Penguin.